know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man!
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man! I don't know why I do the things I do. What's up guys, my name is Courtney Budson and this is What's for Din. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make those delicious bakery style chocolate chip muffins that you all know but have never been able to recreate at home. There are so many tips and tricks to making the perfect muffin and I'm gonna share those all with you today. You guys are gonna love this recipe, so without further ado, let's get started. So the batter is so ridiculously simple. I just have some regular all-purpose flour here, and to that I'm gonna add some baking powder, and I have some salt and baking soda. And just give that a good whisk together and make sure there's no clumps. And to that I'm gonna add some mini chocolate chips. Now I like using mini because then you get more chocolate chips dispersed throughout the entire muffin. Now I like to add the chocolate chips at this stage so that we don't end up over mixing it after we had already added the wet ingredients. So in a separate bowl, I'm gonna start adding my wet ingredients. So I just have some regular granulated sugar. Now I know it's not a wet ingredient, but when you're baking, sugar is always considered one of the wet ingredients. Then we're gonna add some butter. Melted butter, some coconut oil. You can use really any oil you want. I don't suggest using olive oil because it has too strong of a flavor. A lot of vanilla extract, some buttermilk. Now the buttermilk gives this a really moist texture. And then a couple of eggs. We're just gonna whisk that all together till it's nice and combined. And now we can start adding our dry ingredients. Now I'm only gonna add half of the dry ingredients in at a time. And the key here is to not overmix. You notice I do have a standing mixer, but I don't like to use it because when it comes to muffins, you really don't want to overmix. You just want to mix it until it's just combined. You can see that's good enough. Then I'm going to add the rest of the flour mixture and I'm going to lightly fold that in until it's just combined. This is one of the keys in making a really good fluffy muffin, is that you don't overmix, and I cannot stress that enough. Now keep in mind, this is a really thick batter, so don't be tempted to go crazy and mix like a mad woman. I'm just gonna scrape down the sides. See, that only took me not even maybe 2 minutes. So here's one of the tricks to making this the perfect muffin. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it with plastic wrap and we're gonna go ahead and stick it in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. And what this does is all of the flour has a chance to absorb all of those wet ingredients that we put in, and it also gives the batter a chance to relax. The gluten in it needs to relax because we did mix it, even though we didn't mix it a lot. It needs a chance to just sit back and take a chill pill. And in the meantime, you can start warming up your oven to 425 degrees and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, my batter had a chance to rest and now we're gonna go ahead and fill in the cups. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grease these with butter. Now a lot of people will say you can go ahead and use cooking spray, but if you know any good bakers, you know that they always use melted butter instead of any type of other non-stick spray because it works the absolute best. Now, I'm just using a regular cupcake pan. Majority of people don't have muffin pans, so just go ahead and use a cupcake pan. Now the secret to getting that really beautiful dome-shaped muffin is to fill them all the way to the brim. Now I know this goes against everything you've ever learned before, but in order to get that nice dome shape, we have to fill them all the way to the brim and bake them at a certain temperature. Then I like to top it with a little bit more chocolate chips on top, or a lot of it, because I am crazy about chocolate and I like to see the chocolate chips peeking through the very top of the muffin, which we all know is the best part. For an extra added step that is optional, I like to add a little bit of turbinado sugar on the top. All it is very coarse sugar, and what it does is add a really nice texture, so you get a little bit of a crunch when you bite into it, and it adds a really pretty crystallized look on top of the muffin. Okay, so this is the part that makes them the real deal bakery style muffins. We're gonna put these in a 425 degree oven. Now I know that sounds like it's really hot, but the reason we do that is because we really want that initial burst of heat, and that's gonna cause them to really rise up, and that's gonna give them that really good dome shape. So 425 degrees for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna lower it to 375 and then continue baking them until they're completely done for another 15 minutes, give or take. Now you wanna keep an eye on them. You don't wanna overbake these because if you overbake them, they're gonna be dry. I've done it before, but that's okay because they're still delicious even if you overbake them just a little bit. But make sure that you keep an eye on them. You just want the tops to be set, and when you insert a toothpick, it comes out somewhat clean. Because we have chocolate chips, you might hit a chocolate chip and it looks like it's not baked all the way, but don't let that fool you. So in the oven they go, and I will show you guys what they look like when they're done. Woo! I'm excited! So here is the beautiful final product. These are still warm, but you know I have no patience when it comes to food. This is no secret, so I'm going in. Look how pillowy and moist and delicious this is. Ah. Oh goodness. The crunchiness on the top is like everything. You guys are gonna love this recipe. I'm telling you, this is foolproof. Foolproof? So if you do want to recreate it, just look below in the description box. I have all the measurements there as well as the list of ingredients. I can't talk. And if you did like this video, don't forget to smack that like button. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Little bird told me I was falling, really falling.